NVIDIA GeForce RTX 50 Blackwell GPU rumors, GB202 and GB203 with up to 512-bit, utilize 28 Gbps GDDR7 memory. More rumors surrounding NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 50 Blackwell gaming GPUs have been reported by Gbps such as GPU SKUs and memory configs. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 50 Blackwell GPUs comprise of flagship GB202 and GB203 chips, monolithic design expected with first general cards likely utilizing 28 Gbps GDDR7 memory. Gbps has several new tidbits to share on NVIDIA's next-gen GeForce RTX 50 Blackwell GPUs, and they may sound quite a bit different than the ones we heard in his previous posts. The RTX 80 lineup also saw similar rumors before its release, which used to change almost every single day, but there's a good reason why these specs change too often. NVIDIA, like all other GPU manufacturers, works on various configurations, SKUs, and models of a certain product before finalizing something. We have seen variants of the Ampere lineup which were rumored, never got to see the light of day, only to pop up in certain markets. We should keep these things in mind when looking at the next-gen lineup too. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 50 gaming GPUs get flagship GB202 and GB203 dies, speculation on mono or MCM designs. So starting with the details, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 50 Blackwell B200 gaming GPUs will kick off with the flagship GB202 and GB203. It is said that the GB202 is the full chip, whereas GB203 will be half of GB203, similar to how the Ada AD103 is half of the full AD102 GPU. It remains unclear if the Green team will leverage a chiplet or monolithic design. For the HPC I family, the GB100 is going to utilize a chiplet design, MCM, but the gaming GPU is yet to be verified. I think GB203 is half of GB202, just like GB102 and GB100. But I don't know if GB202 has a multi-chip package. Gbps at Gbps. March 11, 2024. GB100 will. I don't think GB202 will. Blackwell flagship now gunning for 512-bit memory, up to 32 GB and 1.8 TB per second bandwidth possible. Interestingly, Gbps now states that the flagship GB202 Blackwell gaming GPU is now going to feature a 512-bit memory interface compared to the 384-bit memory interface on the flagship Ada GPU, the AD102. This can be a game changer for the ultra enthusiast segment, as it not only offers higher memory bandwidth but it will also increase the memory capacity by a good amount. A 512-bit interface with 16 gigabits, 2 GB, modules will lead to 32 GB capacities with 1792.00 GB per second of total bandwidth. I think my persistence is correct. So the difference is that GB202 is 512-bit and AD102 is 384-bit. Yes. And lastly, it looks like 28 Gbps GDDR7 memory modules will be the standard in the first-gen products. Once again, NVIDIA is likely going to offer some variants with lower clocked RAM alongside the higher-end models which feature either 28 Gbps or the full 32 Gbps modules. If Gbps is correct, then that would change the memory hierarchy across all GeForce RTX 50 Blackwell GPUs quite significantly. A 512-bit bus interface for GB202 would suggest that the follow-up would either use 384-bit or 256-bit memory and vice versa down the lane. What can happen is that we see some GB202 variants with 512-bit memory and other products being cut down to 384-bit to make room for more cost-effective models. Or the same can be the case with GB203, which might get both 384-bit and 256-bit variants. GB202 minus 512-bit, 28 Gbps, 32 GB, max memory, 1792 GB per second, max bandwidth, minus 384-bit, 28 Gbps, 24 GB, max memory, 1344 GB per second, max bandwidth, GB203, minus 256-bit, 28 Gbps, 16 GB, max memory, 896.0 GB per second, max bandwidth, GB204, minus 192-bit, 28 Gbps, 12 GB, max memory, 672.0 GB per second, max bandwidth, GB206, minus 128-bit, 28 Gbps, 8 GB, max memory, 448.0 GB per second, max bandwidth, GB207, 28 Gbps. Once again, these are just rumors, but if NVIDIA does intend to launch its GeForce RTX 50 Blackwell GPUs later this year, then these are one of the many such stories that we'll be reporting on throughout this year to make sure you stay updated on the latest internal developments of the next gen GeForce family for gamers.